Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek is a renowned author and speaker who is famous for an interesting concept I would like to share with you today. A concept that emphasizes the importance of understanding why you do something before focusing on what you do or how you do it. And he has a great quote that goes something like this: if you don't know why you are doing what you do, then you don't know what you do. It's not so easy to get it, but let me say it again. If you don't know why you do what you do, you don't know what you do. In other words, if you don't know why you are doing what you do, you don't actually know what you are doing. This quote, if not anything else, tells us how important clarity and purpose are in defining our work, our relationships, and our lives. So, in this episode, I want us to seek that clarity through asking ourselves a few questions. Hello listeners, welcome back to another episode of the 5 to 9 job. This episode is a little different, but was inspired by a previous episode I did on Jim Rohn. Today I want us to try out some reflections because I believe that one of the ways we can connect to our reasons why is through clarity, and sometimes the best source of clarity is to find answers. And to find good, deep answers, you need to ask questions. You need to ask good, deep questions. You need to ask yourself and go through your answers without judgment or fear. So this is an exercise you can do on your own or with someone that you trust. Though I do credit that I got the questions in this video from an Instagram page. It was actually an Instagram reel, which I will be linking in the show notes if you want more content like this. But as you listen to these questions, I encourage you to slow down, breathe, meditate, and think about what each question means to you, and allow your mind to wander. Allow it to open up to these different possibilities that you may not have actually considered. So, without taking a lot of time on the intro, let's get started with the original audio for this exercise.
I have some questions I want to ask you. If you were in a room with everyone you ever met, who would be the one you look for? If someone gave you a box of everything you have ever lost, what is the first thing you would look for? If you had the chance to relive one day of your life, which day would it be and why? If you could receive a letter from your future self, what advice or insight would you hope to find in it? Imagine you have a chance to revisit a moment from your past. Which moment would you choose, and what would you do differently, if anything? If you had to define your purpose in one sentence, what would it be, and how does it influence the choices you make in your daily life?
I hope you listened well and listened through. Let's tackle this one by one, okay? So about the first question. If you were in a room with everyone you ever met, who would be the one you would look for? If you are in a room with everyone you have ever met, who would be the one you would look for? Is it someone from your past? Is it a family member, a friend, or maybe someone who left a mark on your life in a small but very unforgettable way? It could be someone you are with right now. Just think about it. If you are in a room with everyone you have ever met, who would be the person you would look for? And what is it about their presence that draws you in? So, if you are in a room with every single person you have ever met, who would be the one you are looking for? Try to take yourself through a journey. Then the second, imagine if someone gives you a box of everything you have ever lost. What is the first thing you would look for? Whatever you have lost along the way that you yearn to have back. It could be an item, it could be a memory, it could be a feeling, or even a part of yourself. You are free to build on these questions, by the way, like by asking, what does this item that I would look for mean to you? That item that you lost, that item that you yearn for in this box. Imagining that I gave you a box of everything you have ever lost. What would be the first thing you would look for? That's an interesting one. Think about it. Relate it to you. We all have days that we would relive, moments that shine brightly in our memories. So, if you could relive one day of your life, which day would it be and why? Just picture that day in your mind. Close your eyes, picture yourself in that place on that very day. Picture what is happening around you. Picture how the sky is, who is around you. Is it a moment of happiness? Is it a turning point or a time where everything just felt right? Would you do anything differently? Would you simply be grateful for the experience? I say turning point because it could also be a bad time, but I don't want to think that we want to relive bad moments. But yes, that is it. If you could relive one day of your life, which day would it be and why? Okay, question 3. Imagine receiving a letter from your future self. What advice or insights do you hope to find in it? What would you want your future self to tell you about the future, to let you know, to warn you about a certain stage that is ahead of you, a certain decision that you are dreading, the final outcome of how your life turns out? What do you think you'd be most interested in listening to your future self tell you right now? You see, there is this whole culture of asking speakers, what would you tell your 17-year-old self, your 10-year-old self, your 22-year-old self, your 30-year-old self? Well, we can flip that question around and ask ourselves, what do I think my 40-year-old self would tell me right now? What do I think my 8-year-old self would tell me like now? You start to think longevity, you start to think long term, and it helps you. So, what would your future self want you to know, to trust, or what would you want to know from them? Is it something about letting go? Is it a message that could change everything? Just think about it. What would you want that message to be in that letter from your future self? And then finally, and this is what we have been building to, if you had to define your purpose in one statement, what would it be? Just let that sentence come to you naturally. How does that purpose influence the choices you make in your daily life? How does it guide you? How does it shape your attitudes and how you see the world? So if you had to define your purpose in one sentence, what would it be? Remember, there is no right or wrong answer. There is only what feels true for you. The goal of today's podcast is simple: to help you gain clarity and reflect on your purpose so that you can live here feeling more connected to the path you are walking, taking those steps that you need to live a fulfilling life. Take these questions with you after this episode and revisit them whenever you need to. The answers might change, that's okay, because life is always changing. But otherwise, from me and the team here at the 5 to 9 Job podcast, thank you for joining me on this reflective journey. Remember that your 9 to 5 hours, these quiet, reflective moments, and your actions through reflecting on important questions like this is going to help you to build something that's just for you. So until next time, keep pushing, keep growing, and trust that the best of you is yet to come. See you in the next episode.